What started as a passion for dancing turned into a career of helping other dance professionals. Menina Fortunato is a producer, a lead choreographer, and the founder and CEO of Menina Entertainment. Wow.
Hi. So excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
I mean, that's an awful lot to take on, to
Yes.
do as a career. Dance, CEO, managing stuff, producing things. First of all, before we get on to what you do, how do you even compartmentalize all those different things and deal with everything?
I feel like I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none sometimes because I juggle a lot of things, but I'm a super mom. I do a lot of things between being a wife, a mom, 3 kids, juggling a business, being on camera, being behind the camera, mentoring dancers, but I love what I do, and everything I do is centered around dance, which is my passion.
So around that passion has
Yep.
come this understanding and growth from you to helping others. So how do other dance professionals understand, maintain, and learn to evolve and incorporate marketing, branding, self-promotion, those kind of things that you've come to know so well?
So dancers really need to understand that they're not just an athlete, they're not just an artist, but they're a business. They're a brand, and in business, just like in regular business, you need to understand sales, marketing, branding, and the value of relationships, because this business is all about not just what you know, but who you know and who knows you.
Right, and with that who you know and who knows you, that can be evolve into a role of it's kind of a mentor for other people. So
Absolutely.
How do mentors play their role in helping other dancers navigate that kind of landscape?
Well, a mentor can fast track your success as a dancer because, most dancers don't understand the business, don't understand how to create a career. So someone that has already created a career for themselves or has helped other dancers do the same thing, you can fast track your success, save time, money, a lot of stress, and it could mean the difference of making it or breaking it.
How does someone who's starting off, who approaches you and says, I've seen your career, I know you've worked with people like Britney Spears and Beyonce, which is incredible. We'll talk about that hopefully in more depth. How does someone who approaches you say, says, I'm starting my journey, they want to reach out to you or they want to reach out to another mentor, who best aligns with them? How do they find the right mentor that suits their personal needs?
I think finding someone that has already achieved what they want to achieve, have the ability to, like I mentioned, fast tracking their success and really using their connections, learning from their mistakes, learning from their failures, learning from their successes, and being able to be a part of their network. So if your mentor knows your dream choreographer, director, or recording artist, they have the ability to fast track their success. As an example, I had 12 of my mentees earlier this year dance on the Super Bowl with Usher, and that was a direct relationship. My husband and I know the choreography team with Usher, so that was literally a phone call away. And that is the power of relationships and having a mentor that can fast track and get you in the back door.
Did you have anything to do or hear about the roller skating portion of the halftime show?
I heard about it afterwards, but I didn't see it.
Oh, you have to check it out.
I didn't even notice it at the time, but I heard about it afterwards, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're ever jealous of anyone's talents like Usher and then seeing him roller skate and sing and dance at the same time, ridiculous. But talking of super famous celebrities, like I mentioned, you've worked with Beyonce, you've worked with people like Britney Spears. How have you taken that and helped yourself to master the business side of the dance world?
Well, because I've had the opportunity to work with some of the biggest entertainers on the planet, I really believe that if you want to be great, you need to work with great people. And I think I've had that experience to be able to pass on to my mentees to what it's like to be on a big stage, to perform in front of 60,000 people in a big stadium, how to be on camera. Those are skills that I've been able to acquire over the years that I can now pass on to my clients.
And how have you worked and shaped that from, obviously being a career dancer yourself, evolving this and changing this? How do you work that mentorship into helping others? How does it work in a nutshell?
Absolutely. So I have an online mentorship program which started during the lockdown out of necessity. I've been mentoring dancers over the years through in-person dance events, but then I evolved to create an online mentorship where I can mentor dancers from all over the world. So they do a variety of different lessons online, anything from social media marketing, websites, demo reels, learning about nutrition, finances, taxes, college prep, all these life skills. And we also bring on guest choreographers and agents and casting directors so they're able to make those connections. So there's live interaction online, there's on-demand lessons, so they have access to me, to my guest coaches, to my guest mentors. So it's a really holistic approach. So we take already talented dancers and teach them the business side of dance so they can actually create a career for themselves.
I think it's a beautiful thing because you're essentially taking something where where someone could just be focused on achieving the dance goals and forgetting about these other key component aspects which shape a whole career. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to talk more. We will do it during the break, I'm sure. But to learn more, you can visit meninafortunato.com.